All right, welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Korg's Headphones Pop Culture Podcast. I'm Kevin. With me is Farid, Luke, and I've been dying to say this, and this is how it's going to have to be every time now, Johnny. Here's Johnny.
every October.
Yeah, all through October.
Definitely. If you don't get that reference, you're too young to listen to this podcast, so you can go ahead and just leave now. Anyway, man, we got some good subjects today. We're going to talk about a few things, but I'm going to lead it off with a video game question. Last week, I mentioned some upcoming games that are coming out, and we made some honorable mentions on things that we're really looking forward to. So last week when I was doing the research for the games for their releases towards the end of 2021 here, I came upon a video that was a guy reacting to, it wasn't the top ranked games overall, but it was the most searched games on Google. And I'm just going to read kind of a quick list to you guys of things that were consistently in the top 5. And I want to kind of hear, and maybe it's your game, a game for you isn't on this list, but I want to hear your top 2 games all time. Okay? Ooh. All right, so just, again, some really big hitters that were on this list. World of Warcraft, GTA from GTA 3, San Andreas, and 5 were all listed. A number of Final Fantasy titles were on there. NFS, not to be confused with NSF. Need for Speed, Most Wanted, Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, Call of Duty Black Ops, Modern Warfare 2, Halo 3, Minecraft, Dota 2, any FIFA title, League of Legends, Modern Warfare 3, Clash of Clans, Fallout 4, Overwatch, Pokemon Go, Skyrim, Mass Effect, Fortnite, The Witcher, PUBG, Apex, Gears of War, Animal Crossing, and Destiny. Out of those things, like what names pop up to you guys the most? And again, do you have anything that's off that list?
Did you say Legend of Zelda?
So you got to keep in mind, and let me preface this. This is Google searched games when they were coming out or when they were out. So it was from 2001 to 2021.
Okay.
And again, this isn't a ranking of best games ever. It was the most searched games of all time. Yep. And just so you guys know too, World of Warcraft was crushing for a long time.
Yeah.
And then Minecraft crushed World of Warcraft, and then not Paw Patrol, Animal Crossing absolutely destroyed everything in the total number of searches.
Just so everyone knows, Kevin has a 1-year-old son, and that's why he said Paw Patrol. He doesn't currently watch Paw Patrol on purpose, and that's why it's his head.
Dead. But Animal Crossing.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So again, like what are top 2 for you guys for whatever you're going for?
I think I know Johnny's.
Yeah, mine definitely. Number 1, I'd have to put GTA. I put so much time into 5 specifically. I mean, I put plenty of time in all of them, but 5, I put like 100%ed story mode, and then like never got into online. And then everybody started playing online. I was like, okay, let me check this out. And it was like essentially an entirely new game that's like consistently getting new updates and stuff. I put tens of hours into that game. That's easy number 1. Number 2 is just FIFA every year. Again, I put too much time into FIFA.
Hey, I just bought FIFA 22. This is the first one I've bought since like 18. Oh, yeah. So we'll have to link up. We'll have to stream me whipping Johnny's ass.
Oh, that ain't happening. We could put some money down.
We should do it. We
just
should
got
do
it yesterday. Give me a couple days.
We should do a stream where Farid and I are like the commentators of a soccer game, and you guys are playing the soccer game.
Love it.
Luke, these guys are talking about FIFA like the FIFA god isn't in this. Sitting right next to them.
Come on now.
Actually, no one's sitting next to me, so.
We definitely don't have to have some streams because there's only one way to resolve this.
For real. All right, so you said number 1 was, remind me again?
GTA
and FIFA, okay.
FIFA. I do want to give an honorable mention to Modern Warfare 2.
Okay.
That needs honorable mention. But
I would probably say similar to Johnny, GTA, but GTA 5 in particular. But I think you might have said it. There were a lot of things that you said, but Skyrim is one of those games that I put hours into, and I don't know if you said it or not, but Red Dead 2 was a game. That was the first game I ever pre-ordered.
It was on the list at a
Okay.
point through the video. I didn't name it though. That's a good one.
I played the first Red Dead up until like 2 or 3 years.
You said they just
before
put out a new expansion for Red Dead 2?
I did. I'm gonna try and buy it for my PC. Actually, I want to play it on here.
We might have to stream some of that for it.
Oh, dude, I'm down. I was like so, man. When I heard about Red Dead 2 coming out, I was like so hyped. It was the first game I ever pre-ordered. I was like, I'm committed.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun.
Okay. So, what were your Red Dead and what was the other one?
GTA 5.
Oh, GTA 5 also. Okay.
I got a clear number one, mostly because I've played it like I have over 4,000 hours in this game. So, but mine's Dota 2 is the clear number one for me.
It had a pretty high popularity point on the list of the data that was there.
Biggest esport event in the world every year. Over $30 million prize pool. That's a big deal.
Crazy how it's the biggest esporting event and no one's also ever heard of it.
Yeah,
like
here
when it's going on, I don't know any. Like, didn't somebody just win? Didn't they just have the championship?
You did hear about it,
dude. I mean, I slept through it probably.
Yeah, you did. It was at 4 a.m. Because it was in Stockholm. Cool. So Dota 2 is for sure my favorite. I think the reason just because it's like Johnny was saying, like the story continues, like with Dota, and like then when they came out with the online, it like GTA, just it's always getting updated. That's the thing with Dota is it's always getting updated, and every game is different. Like I don't feel like every time I play it, it's the same thing. So I have to strategize different. So that's why I enjoy it. But I think like I can't really choose one, but I think that my favorite after that is Assassin's Creed. I just love that franchise in general.
Those are good.
Yeah, and that's different from Dota. Is the storyline is really fun for me. I just like going in and doing the story and learning about the stuff. So yeah.
Okay, quick question for you, Luke. Since Johnny and I picked GTA 5, and it's GTA 5 is probably unanimously one of the better ones. What is your favorite Assassin's Creed, or what do you think is the best one?
Best one or my favorite? That's
let's go best and then your favorite.
I'd have to think about best one because it's like they kind of run together for me. But the one I enjoyed most recently a lot was Black Flag, like just because I like pirates and stuff like that.
Yeah, me too. Pirates are pretty cool.
And then I'd say Black Flag's probably my favorite recently. I just started playing Odyssey, so
oh cool. Origins, you should.
Origins is great.
Origins is by far my favorite, I think.
Origins is great. That's what I'm saying is they all run together. I was trying like the ones that like the stories that were popping in my head were Black Flag, and I think it's because I spent the most hours in that game probably.
And not to like pick favorites because listen, I love all you guys. You guys are all homies, but I love the Egyptian history and like the Egyptian culture. So Origins was so cool, dude, because they had like them symbols with the eye and the thing like that, like the Egyptians got
the all-seeing eye.
Dude, all that all-seeing eye, man. And
it was just cool. Podcast today.
Yeah, yeah, we should title it the all-seeing eye. So I think that's why I liked Origin so much because of the Egyptian culture and all the stuff behind it.
Yeah,
I think Johnny was in the game too, but I'm not sure.
That here's Johnny.
I got to throw an honorable mention out there, and it's got to be Minecraft. I've spent a lot of time in that game as well.
For sure.
Just like from like Hunger Games battles back in the day to just building stuff with Farid even sometimes. So that game I've spent a lot of time in that as well. So
yeah. Okay.
Kev, I want to hear yours. I know one of them for sure.
Well, it's hard because Halo is definitely like tops for me, but at the same time, trying to play some of those games now, like it's hard to go play the old ones because the interface is so primitive, and aiming and some of this stuff is just annoying. But sorry, I just got a text message that distracted me. But man, I'm probably gonna go Halo 3, and man, I'm gonna throw it old school, and I'm gonna go Zelda Ocarina of Time. Just a lot of time spent on that game growing up. So it's definitely a classic. Yeah. And I got too many honorable mentions, so we'll leave that today.
I know. I was gonna say we got to go back to this sometime and say like top 10 because now I'm starting to have other games come through my head. I'm like when you said the old school, right there.
You said Halo, and the first thing I thought of was their soundtrack, and then in my head I'm like, well, what's the best game soundtrack? I'm like, man, that's like another thing we're gonna have to revisit.
That's a good one.
Yeah, Tony Hawk's gonna be up there on some of those.
Yep.
Yep. All right, so man, that's gonna be it for that video game segment. So next thing is gonna be Squid Game. Everybody here has seen all of it, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what did you guys think about? Yeah, just the concept, the ending, everything.
Man, I was really reluctant to get into it. Everybody was saying how much they loved it, and like I tried to watch it once, and like it just wasn't for me. I think partly just because I didn't like the language barrier was a little bit there for me, but also like I just didn't really see how it could be cool. And I was like, it's just gonna be people dying over and over again. And then like as I started watching it, I finished like the whole thing in like a day and a half, and I would have finished it faster, but I had to work. So like that thing was that show was addicting, and all the twists and turns inside of it definitely kept me engaged to like not just like every game. So what's up, friend?
Quick question. When you say the language barrier was a little bit of a thing, do you mean you understood some of it?
No, I mean like yeah. No, I meant like because I don't like when I either had to watch it with subtitles.
The dub was terrible. The dub was terrible.
Yeah, I either had to watch it with subtitles
bad.
or dub it. And like sometimes I gotta like I can't always just sit and watch something like that. So I put it on the dub, and then it was bothering me that stuff wasn't lining up, and so it was like some of it I watched in subtitles and some of it I watched in the dub, and definitely better in subtitles. I'll tell you that much.
I understand what you mean. Go ahead.
Real quick, Fred. Did y'all hear why the dub was so bad?
Yeah, I did see that.
Apparently, like the actors who read the script, like didn't know, like weren't reading alongside of like seeing anything or doing anything. Like they just read the script, and so like they didn't have that fluidity with what was going on.
Because usually they have the show playing, or at least they've seen what it is that they're gonna be, doing the voiceover for, so they can put some emphasis into it. Where someone turns around and goes, "Oh my god," like that, and the dub is like, "Oh my god, I have turned around." But no, Luke, I understand completely what you mean by like I think it was episode 7. I just had to like pause it and like just like. I'm like, man, this is like, it was like so overstimulating to hear a language that I don't understand and have to like try and, watch the TV and then like read and then piece it all together. I felt like I was doing like a brain marathon. But generally, or I guess overall, I enjoyed the show. I thought it was a cool idea. I have actually really enjoyed a lot of like Korean and Japanese and Asian movies and TV shows that I've been watching lately, so that's really cool. But it started off really well, and then it just kind of, I don't know, it was very predictable, and like that's okay, but I don't know, it kind of lost a little bit of its edge for me towards the end.
You're telling me
what?
You're telling me predictable? I didn't believe it was predictable. You saw the old guy running the whole thing?
I didn't see that, but like when I say predictable, I mean like obviously it's going to be those last two guys because they knew each other, and obviously the other dude's going to win. It like that, and again, it's not fair to say that because in a particular game it'll be like 5 main characters, and then Susan Boyle over here, who you're just like, who is that? I don't even know who that is. So obviously that person's dying. No offense to Miss Susan Boyle. She's got an amazing voice. But it was just like stuff like that where, like, dude, you can't tell me you didn't think they were going to lose the tug of war. Like, you knew they were going to win.
Yeah, of course.
It was still cool. Like, they still made it really enticing and exciting. But, no, I didn't see the old man thing. But when that reveal happened, I was just kind of like, oh, okay, whatever. Like it wasn't like.
I thought the bigger reveal for me was who the brother was. Like,
yeah, I agree.
Like the old man thing was cool. Like I was like, that makes sense. Like because he kept like knowing every game he had a way to win it. Like or he was like talking about, oh, we played this when I was a kid. So like
they were all games that like he had played.
Yeah, it all clicked once that you found out that was who it was, and like you didn't see him actually die. Everyone else you saw die, like all of that stuff, or at least heard it, like more clearly that someone died. So yeah, I thought it was really cool, and there was like I liked how there was like a lot of times in those types of shows you get like one person's story. We got to see a lot of people's stories, and like how they intertwined and everything. Curious what your guys' favorite game was that they played.
That's a good question.
And which one you think you would have been the best at.
No dancing it.
Yeah, red light, green light. I mean, that was probably my favorite one, just for like shock factor, just because you didn't know what was going to happen, and then some of the people obviously panicked and just ended up getting killed because they were freaking out and trying to get away. They weren't playing the game anymore.
Some people were
that was bad.
Most of them, they got slaughtered. The other interesting one to me was, I mean, they were all interesting, but I like the glass bridge. Like that would be so mind-boggling.
Have you guys played Fall Guys?
No,
yeah,
Fall Guys.
It's basically Fall Guys.
Yeah, my wife. I was telling her because she's never gonna watch it. She won't watch stuff like that. And we were upstairs, and she was like, "So what happened in the show?" And I was like, I was telling her, and then she's like, "So is this like Hunger Games and Fall Guys together?" I'm like, "I guess so, yeah."
I think the game that I would be the most comfortable playing is probably red light, green light. I can't win in tug of war. I don't want to be scratching out a triangle. That's just worst. Yeah. I mean, if I knew that I could just go and that I would win, then I'd probably just do that.
That I think was my favorite game.
Really?
Just seeing Sung Woo just do him dirty like that, knowing what it was before, I was like, oh my god, that's so wrong.
What part of the show made you guys the most uncomfortable? I'll go first. I know there was a lot of gore, a lot of blood and violence, but the most uncomfortable I was in the whole show, and including the sex scene, that didn't bother me. I was extremely uncomfortable when that white dude took his helmet off, and I was like, I did not want to see that guy's face, bro. I was like looking at the TV like this, like I don't want to.
The VIP.
Yeah, I did not. I knew nothing was going to happen. Like, they're not going to show anything. But just, like, I do not want to see his face. I don't know why. It just, like, freaked me out. Come here, boy. Bend over, boy.
I mean...
Fast forward.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
Man. Most uncomfortable. That's tough. I think... Maybe not most uncomfortable, but the biggest shock was like that first. I think it was the first one when they fell from the glass, like the shot. I think it was the first one. Maybe it's like third one, but like they like showed like the person on the ground, and it was like one of the most gory things in the show so far. I was like, oh geez, like, but. Uncomfortable, probably that whole scene, like, but maybe not like the VIP like in the back room, but like before that when he's like just staring at him while the game's going on. That was just like really awkward, like scene in the show, I guess.
I thought for me it was just the whole room that the VIPs were in.
Yeah,
that was just
a lot of weird stuff going on there.
Emily and I got halfway through. She had already seen it. She only had one episode left to go, and she waited for me. We got halfway through, bro. I'm talking, these guys are like final four, and that's when I noticed. It took me forever. I was like, damn, those are weird mannequins. And she's like, mannequins? I was like, yeah, you see those mannequins? She's like, those are people. And so I rewinded it. I was like, oh my God, there are people. I was like, what the? It took me forever to realize that. That was weird, though. I didn't like that.
Yeah.
Who's you guys?
Go ahead. Oh yeah. Say the most like, I don't know. It wasn't the most awkward like moment during any of the events, but there are two moments that to me were just like, that's like cringe. Number one, how Sang-woo does Ali. Ali.
Oh, that's that
was so
Sang-woo
bad,
is by far the worst person in that show.
Such a dick, dude. So bad. It was like, you know, when you found out, like when you're watching Ali realize that there was rocks in his bag, it was like, oh, bro, it's not your fault.
Yeah,
loved him, bro. I loved that.
He was awesome too.
And then, like, obviously, there's already been major spoilers said, but just bringing up the ending now. So if you haven't watched it, you've been warned. I was so mad when he didn't get on the plane to go to America.
I know.
Go see your daughter, dude. You're an idiot.
Yeah.
Go see your daughter. You're still a bad dad. After everything that just happened, you didn't even learn the main lesson that you should have learned through this process. Like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You're not Batman. You can't just go be some vigilante and try to stop this whole process.
We already had one guy try. He died.
Yeah. So, but I mean, it seems like they're setting it up for, you know, obviously
Season
second
2.
one. But it's like, I don't know.
This
guy wrote the script like 13 years ago, and it just got picked up. It's like, were y'all really ready for it to blow up like this to make a season 2, or was that just the ending?
I think they said that they were like in talks of like a potential.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd hope so. The way it ended.
Yeah, I would hope so. It'll be twice as gory, twice as many VIPs.
The director of the show was saying like I don't even have to work to come up with new games. Like fans are just giving me ideas.
Sure.
To where it's like easy.
You know, it'd be a good one. I just thought of. Sorry, really quick. I just thought of this. Human whack-a-mole. You got to stick your head up and then stick it down, and then someone's got a hammer. Just whoever whacks the most.
I think they have the human version of holes like that, but I don't think it's called whack-a-mole. I have to keep it PG-13, so I won't further that joke anymore.
So, who was your guys' favorite player?
Sang-woo.
I was gonna say canceled.
Just kidding. Dude, not the main guy.
Yeah, I have two. Mine was Ali, and I can't remember how to say her name, but the girl who got third. She was pretty cool. Yeah, and at first she kind of annoyed me, like
North Korean.
Yeah, but like as she went, like she was pretty cool, like in why she was there and all of that was her story was really cool.
I liked the guy who beat his wife at the marbles game. I like him. He's my favorite character.
So stupid, bro. So stupid.
Bro, that guy, I cannot believe. I know the four of us in here would lose so our wives could win. Like, that's a given. What is he doing?
Yeah. Well, Presley and I have an understanding.
In that situation for a reason, right?
Yeah. Presley and I have an understanding, though, that we never let each other win at anything. So, it would be a battle.
She'd have to earn her way out of there.
I mean, probably same, dude. If you haven't played a fast card game with my wife, you don't know how brutal she is. So
Presley and Jocelyn would be trying to beat us like right away. So we just have to.
The only thing I can get Emily to be competitive about is when we play one-on-one Uno. Other than that, like I'll beat her and she'll be like, "Oh, okay." I'm just like, "No, bro, get mad, get mad."
Oh yeah, my wife's like rematch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's play again.
It's funny to watch his wife and my wife play cards against each other because they're like trying to be nice, but like at the same time you can see internally that they're both like not wanting to be nice.
The aggression level's on 100. They're just being polite.
Internally. Love it. Who is your least favorite? We'll say least favorite too, because if your least favorite's not Sang-woo, then you're wrong. But who's your second least?
The crazy lady.
The tatted guy.
Oh my.
I didn't like the tatted guy. Yeah, I didn't like him too much.
Yeah.
No, you need that character.
I know you do. I just don't like
crazy lady. Nah, bro.
Yeah, she was
Get
annoying.
outta here.
I was so disappointed when they walked back in the room and she was sitting on the bed. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Like, I thought we
She
were
got the
done.
free pass.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
I actually really like that. I thought that was clever.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was the most annoying character by far.
If it would have been anyone else, I would have been like, "Oh, that's cool." But since it was her, I was disappointed that she was still there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how she killed him on the glass kind of redeemed her a little bit, though. That was pretty sick.
Yeah, definitely.
Gotta keep your promise.
Yep. Cool.
She is a woman of her word.
Anything else for Squid Game?
I mean, I guess final question: are you hoping for season 2?
But yeah, I'd be down with season 2.
I think it should just leave off where it is. With like how it hit it out of the park, like just accept it. Don't ruin it by making it go longer.
I mean, I need to see if Jihoon is gonna not be a dumbass and try to do something right and go freaking fix this situation with this kid. So I want to see season 2.
What's up with his hair too? Like, he just like, I don't know. I'm sure there was some kind of artsy, creative thing behind that. I was like, okay, his hair is pink.
Well, have you ever seen like any K-pop bands?
Yeah.
There's like one that has red hair like that. Like it's pretty common for like famous people or performers to wear a wig or have like a crazy color hair like that in Korean entertainment.
Cool.
Two things. One is you guys need to go watch the SNL thing for Squid Game with Pete Davidson. It is hilarious.
Okay.
He turns into a country song. Hilarious. Second thing is, Kev, since you're watching Survivor right now, this is basically Extreme Survivor also. They're all in an island together, and then they have challenges and get voted off, basically. So, Extreme Survivor. So maybe we'll see Survivor 42 when they run out of more games. We'll just see a little bit more intense version of Survivor.
Actually eliminate people that lose.
Jeff Probst is out here with the mask.
Ooh, man. Just didn't quite make it. Jeff talking trash the game would be changed if it was Squid Game style. When he's like, "Ooh, they don't even have a chance." Like, ooh, man, you're savage, bro.
Yeah.
Just taunting them before death.
But fans get to choose who play as well. So, all right, cool. Johnny, you want to get into pop culture update?
Yeah, let's do it, man. There's plenty to talk about this week. First off, I know all of us bought our tickets to go together to Eternals. So just a quick announcement. We will not be recording Thursday, November 4th. We'll be back with you the following week with a packed episode. Talk about the movie.
Wow.
Unfortunately saw they had the premiere the other night and
Stay off Twitter.
people say, yeah, exactly.
Right.
People are
going on
spoiling it already. So keep your eyes peeled. Make sure you don't see nothing possible. But
Stay off Twitter and Reddit.
But yeah, don't be that person. That's just that's lame.
That's why we're waiting a week, by the way, as well, from posting anything about the movie or recording, because we don't want to spoil it for anyone.
So, I mean, the big event that happened last week, DC Fandom, I mean, that unpacked a ton.
A lot of stuff.
From the new Batman trailer to Black Adam, Flash, Shazam, Peacemaker, Aquaman, tons of animated series, tons of video games. What was the thing that you guys liked most or was most excited about coming out of that?
Mine has to be Batman.
Yeah, Batman for sure.
Anytime they release any Batman movie, I'm going to be excited for it, to be honest. And I'm excited for this new take on it a little bit of this like detective stuff, and it's gonna. From my understanding, it's gonna be more of a mystery, like that. It's not even. We know the Riddler is the bad guy, but I've also heard that the Riddler's not the actual bad guy. And I have some theories around that. We can talk about that later as we get into closer to the movie. We can do maybe a Batman breakdown, but I'm pretty excited for some of the trailer hints and things like that. Fred and I talked about it the other day. There's some hidden things in the trailer that if you read comics or played the games that you would probably know or see in that trailer. So I'm pumped about it for that reason.
Yeah, I'm most excited about the Batman trailer too, and I'll put a different point out than Luke though. It was great to see Zoe Kravitz.
I knew that was coming.
Right to hit on right there.
Meow.
That's funny.
Yeah, I think the things I was most excited about coming out of that was Peacemaker. I mean, that's just a couple months away. Mm-hmm. I'm actually looking forward to that a lot. And the Black Adam, like just the visuals in the teaser that they showed was just something completely new, and I think that's going to be super cool.
And those aren't even final cuts, so that's like super cool.
The Flash little teaser was cool as well. I want to say this super quick about DC and the whole thing. They've really got to like earn people's trust back, because with the Snyder Cut, it kind of like, with all the mistakes that they made with the last DC movies, I feel like the Snyder Cut brought them right back at zero with at least with the fans and at least with me. I thought the Snyder Cut was incredible compared to the original Justice League.
Well, and if it would have got the, like, I agree with you, Fred. Like, I think too is that we got to see that. I think the Snyder Cut kind of let DC take responsibility for, or at least Warner Bros. Take responsibility for like ruining some of that stuff, because we saw like the potential. Like the Snyder Cut was good, but it was really long and like parts were drawn out. But that's also because they didn't have they had to do it quickly to like redo the cut. So like if we would have got to see it in its full glory, Warner Bros. Completely supporting it, like I feel like they would have had a lot better like connection if they would have done that as a release in the beginning.
Yeah, well, really, I like a lot of the DC characters, and I'd like to watch some more of that stuff. But I'm just worried about them messing it up and doing it poorly. So I'm really hoping that they kind of earn our trust back, earn like audience's trust back with a lot of like Black Adam and The Flash and a lot of these upcoming movies, Peacemaker. Yeah, those ones.
You guys see the Michael Keaton Easter egg in Flash in the Batman scene?
I saw that.
I gotta watch that, but I love that.
Yep.
All right, that was the big one, but plenty of other news still. Will Poulter as Adam was casted as Adam Warlock for Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Yeah. I thought that was
he really?
Was interesting. I mean, when I think of him, I just think of We're the Millers.
Yep.
That's literally.
Dude, when I think of him, I think of the big eyebrow. His eyebrows come down to like over here, bro.
Yeah, he definitely has.
That's so funny.
Very unique eyebrows.
I think he might do, like, I don't know about his acting, but like after I saw some people like Photoshop like how he could look in the movie, I was like, that actually works. Like it makes sense to me. So I think it could be cool. So hopefully he kills it. And Marvel's good about choosing those people. So hopefully it sticks together.
Yeah, this is cool.
Unlikely people. Like
that's true.
Yeah, exactly. More than anything, cool. I'm just hoping like when I see the movie, I can just separate his character and where the.
I only recognize this guy from the Maze Runner movies, Alfie or whatever his name was.
Mm-hmm.
What is the song they sing in We Are the Millers? The Sunshine song, right? Like that's.
I can't remember that detailed. But yeah, that was an interesting one.
Johnny, do you have anything else? There was something that came out today that I don't know if you guys saw it or it kind of went under the radar.
Maybe I got it, maybe I don't.
Uncharted trailer dropped. The Uncharted trailer finally dropped.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you guys get a chance to see it? No.
Oh.
Yeah, I guess we'll just have to see.
I never played the Uncharted game.
It's just like an adventure, like Indiana Jones, modern day kind of thing. They're fun. They're actually really cool games.
I know they're very popular, so.
Yeah, we'll see, man.
Something we didn't hit on in the last week or so was the new House of the Dragon trailer. I
Yeah.
know me and
That's
Luke
Game of
talked a
Thrones,
little bit
right?
about that.
Game of
That's the
Thrones.
Game of Thrones prequel
Prequel,
on the
that's before.
Targaryen. Say it again.
Prequel's before.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's either 100 or 200 years before
Damn.
Game of Thrones takes place. But that
You know what's
that was one
surprising with the
trailer.
amount of incest that was going on in Game of Thrones that humanity could survive that long.
Apparently,
I agree, Kev.
I haven't read those books, but apparently it's we'll be seeing plenty of that still.
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
sure.
Get
Go
out
back
of
to
here.
Kevin's comment right there. Kev, go into our history books a little bit, and you'll see why it's lasted this long with that much going on.
You guys can watch this, man. I'll stick to Paw Patrol.
Well, okay. So some other news. A lot of just Marvel news. Things that began production in the last week include Guardians of the Galaxy, Secret
God.
Invasion, and actually not Marvel, but Mandalorian season 3
No way.
started as well.
Oh
Yep.
God.
And then unfortunately, Feige announced there's going to be some delays on movies for next year's slate, which is, I mean, 3 massive ones.
Dude, they
Doctor
just had
Strange
COVID.
2.
What's the next excuse?
He actually made a statement, but I didn't read the full statement because I was just too pissed off. But Doctor Strange 2 moves back from March 5th to May 6th. May 6th was supposed to be Thor 4, which got moved from May 6th to July 8th. July 8th was supposed to be Black Panther 2. That got moved from July 8th all the way to November 11th.
That one makes sense to me, like in all honesty, but the other ones are frustrating. Black Panther's the only one that like they basically had to rewrite the whole like probably the plan around it. So
Yeah, I am curious because that has already began. I mean, Black Panther 2 has already began production. I know Doctor Strange has been in production for quite some time,
yeah,
as well as Thor. But I mean, it does realistically like make sense to have them like push like we're gonna be 7 months into the year and already have three blockbuster movies from them out. So just to space things out, but that just means essentially everything's going to be pushed back.
yeah.
The end of
But-
Jones 5.
Yeah, that got pushed back as well. But yeah, I mean a couple other things. Both rumors. Well, I guess all 3 are rumors. But I know I sent in the group text earlier today. World War Hulk movie rumored to be in active development, as well as a rumor that they are developing a Monica Rambeau and a Ten Rings spin-off series.
That'd be awesome.
So I don't know about you guys, but I'd love to see just really anything Hulk centered. I'd love to see that,
Yeah.
even if it is going backwards a little bit and not necessarily progressing the story. I feel like he kind of deserves his shine.
It could
Oh,
be
yeah.
a variant to like a different thing, like because
Yeah, I mean now there's unlimited possibilities with that.
exactly. That's what I was telling Kev earlier. We were talking about how that's what's gonna be interesting with Marvel now is they could do a lot of standalone movies if they wanted to, even because they could just be like they could still be in the timeline and pull them in later if they wanted, but it's like they can do variants and different timelines, different worlds, different Earths. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, I was curious. I saw this question pop up the other day and wanted to bring it by you guys, hear what you have to say. They were, I mean, kind of general consensus is Loki has been the best Marvel Disney Plus show so far, and there's only The Mandalorian on the Star Wars side. But which one of those 2 do you guys like better, Loki or Mando?
Low key for me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna have to agree for the depth and the magnitude that it goes into. Mandalorian is a great show, but it's the beginning of a story where like Loki is a huge piece of the intermission between the phases of what's going on and what we just dealt with in Marvel.
Fred? Okay, screw this guy. I'll speak up for myself.
Can you not hear my music?
No, we can't hear nothing.
My dude, I had the song playing, the Mandalorian song.
Oh,
No, we can't.
Oh, that's
We
so
still
annoying.
can't hear it, bud.
That's so annoying.
You have a high quality mic. We can't hear
I know.
the
What's up
shitty
with that?
feedback from your phone.
What's up with that, man? I'm gonna go with the Mandalorian. I think I like the Mandalorian between those two. I'll actually go kind of with what you said, Kev. It's like the beginning of a story, and sometimes I feel like the beginning of the stories is I don't know. I thought that it was cool, and I think the beginning of the stories can be kind of exciting sometimes. But I mean, they're both like really good shows. I think I would just take the Mandalorian because I love that soundtrack.
I definitely really like what Luke and Kev, you guys had to say. I'd pick Mando at this point, and maybe that's just because there's 16 episodes versus 6. And so we've gotten to dive a little bit deeper. But just seeing all those things come together, I thought was incredible. But
Not wait for Obi-Wan.
I prefer Marvel over Star Wars. But yeah. Anyways, I just thought I'd run that by at the end of my little thing.
When is the Obi-Wan show supposed to come out?
Hopefully we'll get news November 12th at the Disney Plus Day.
Oh,
But
yeah, still
right
not.
now, it's just, yeah, I mean, that's another one that's been in production for quite some time.
I thought it was done.
It could be. I'm not positive, but I know it's supposed to be 2022 at some point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but it's not
2022 is
until
gonna
at
be,
least July.
yeah. 2022 is going to be insane.
I'm tired
for
of
Star
waiting,
Wars
bro.
content.
It is, yeah. Cool. Let's go into the what are we watching segments. We haven't done this before, but we're going to kind of go through, and I just want to kind of ask everyone, like, give an update what you're watching. Tell people, like, shows, like, we can tell viewers some things that we recommend, maybe they haven't ever seen, or it gives us a chance to, you know, say what we're watching and each other maybe haven't seen it or talk about it a little bit. So I can go first. Actually, I want Johnny to go first because mine kind of piggybacks off of his a little bit. So and his is more exciting. So Johnny, go ahead. You go first.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna give you a quick curveball and just say, just finished as with you other two, Ted Lasso. Kev, I know you haven't seen that.
I haven't.
You gotta watch that, man. It is incredible television.
Yeah.
Okay.
Top tier.
Yeah, we're just me and Emily talking earlier today. And just for some clarification, yes, both me and Farid are married to Emily.
It's not the same one.
Yeah, not the same one.
Not Game of Thrones.
Let's do last track where I was
They're
like,
like opposites. They're like opposites because Johnny's Emily's tall and mine is short. And Johnny's Emily is sweet and mine is a.
You better be careful saying that too loud.
He obviously doesn't listen to the podcasts, or else he would be
She's
saying
asleep,
that.
bro. She gotta be up at 5. She's the breadwinner in this household, bro.
But we were just saying earlier today, like, man, I wish that season wasn't over. I wish we were still, had that to look forward to on Fridays.
Yeah.
Other than that, just finishing right now, Kim's Convenience as well, with all the hype around Simu Liu's character in that, obviously. But so I gave that a shot, and it's not that long, but enjoyable. And then finally got around to watching Avatar: The Last Airbender. Onto book 2 right now, and it is amazing.
Good.
Yeah.
Great show. So
That is a great show.
I'll go after Johnny because when Johnny told me he was going to finally watch it, I started it over, and so I'm watching it through right now. I'm almost done with book 1 as well, and I'm just reminded how amazing it is. I've probably seen it 4 or 5 times, like at least bits and pieces. I've seen it all a couple times, but I'm just very excited to go back through it. But I just finished Squid Game, as we talked about yesterday. And then I'm actually starting Titans on HBO Max, which is it Titans or Titan? I can't. Titans.
Titans.
And it's basically the story of Teen Titans with Robin and Nightwing, kind of both. So far, he's Robin. In going like that, so I'm pretty excited about that right now, as I'm a huge Nightwing fan, and I've heard he makes an appearance.
And he says the F word.
Heard a lot of good stuff about that.
Yeah. Kev?
Yeah, I finished Squid Game is the last thing I binged. Finished that, I guess, last weekend now, week and a half ago. But man, yeah, I would recommend watching it. I don't think it lives all the way up to the hype, but it was entertaining. I enjoyed. I didn't feel like I watched something that I didn't like. But I'm watching Survivor week to week, and let me say that watching a show week to week in the 21st century where we can stream stuff is so hard. Like first world problems, bro. Like, it's so
And
hard
with
to
commercials.
wait until Wednesday.
Commercials suck.
Get me out of here. Like,
Yeah.
I just want to wait till it's over and binge it all. But I'm watching it week to week. So Survivor's going pretty good. I got to finish last night's episode. And then, like Luke referenced earlier, I have a small child. He's a year old. So it doesn't really matter what we watch sometimes. But on Netflix Kids, Pokemon Indigo League is on there. And so, like, that is straight out of elementary school. Just got home off the bus for me. So I'm just totally nostalgizing that with him right now. And on, like, the 10th episode, Brock just joined the crew, so now it's Brock, Misty, and Ash just ready to take on the world together. And yeah, Jackson and I just watched that.
That's great. I love it. Farid, what are you watching, man?
Yeah, so I've kind of made my rounds through Disney Pixar. Like last month, I watched all the Cars movies, and then here recently, before I went on my work trip, I watched The Incredibles 1 and 2. So good, dude. The one. I mean, it's easy. I mean, I like Incredibles 2. I support women, but Incredibles 1 is better. And we're Emily and I, Italian Emily and I are watching Murders Only in the Building on Hulu with Selena Gomez, Martin Short, and I forget his name. Steve Martin, yeah. It's good. It's very corny, but that's kind of what makes it funny.
Wait, are Steve Martin and Martin Short in it?
Mm-hmm. Together, yeah.
That's all I needed to know for corny.
So
those guys are cornballs. They're funny, but they are cornballs.
Yes, it is so funny. And the unfortunate thing about it is that Selena Gomez is not a good actress at all, and Martin Short and Steve Martin are phenomenal. And so she looks. I mean, it's tough. It's impossible. It's such a hard job to do, like to act right next to them.
What do you mean? Didn't she like almost win a Golden Globe for Cat and whatever? I don't. What was the show on Disney Channel?
Oh, bro, I don't. Or Wizards of Waverly Place.
Okay, there we go. I guess I was thinking of Sam and Cat. One of those is
that's Ariana Grande.
Yeah. She's much better than Selena. That's a conversation for another day. But
I couldn't agree more. Yeah, dude. I mean, dude, it just. Sometimes I just think I was born in the wrong place at the wrong time, because these Disney kids. These Disney kids. This is what they do. They stand there and they stare at a screen that's 50 yards away, probably closer because that's really far, and they read the words and they go like this. Oh my God, I'm supposed to go hang out with Jax today. Oh, no way. You better go hang out with him. And then cue the laugh track. And then they get paid, and then they do albums, and then they date famous people. It's so annoying. And then they get shows like this on Hulu, which is actually, it's an okay show. But don't get me started on them.
all that to say it's an okay show.
Don't get me started on them Disney kids, bro. But I wanted to say, Kev, you should watch Jurassic Park Camp Cretaceous with your kid, because
I heard that show is not really good for kids though. Like, it's scary.
There are some jump scares. It's Jurassic Park, though. They're dinosaurs.
It's supposed to be a kids show. There's jump scares.
Oh, he's one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude.
He doesn't know her. The only thing he identifies on the TV is Elmo, bro. Anything else is just background.
Yeah, Kev, you should watch. On that note, you should watch Harley Quinn on HBO Max with Jax. It's rated TV mature, but Jax is mature for his age, so you'll be good.
Yeah, I mean, he watched an episode of Squid Game with me, so he's ready.
Yeah. Same environment, kind of. What are you watching? So big stuff in sports right now. With the NBA starting this last week. The Dodgers are going to lose their series thing right for it, and then the NFL's getting close to the halfway mark. Have you guys been keeping up with major sports? This is overall pop culture. We don't usually talk about sports too much, but we're all big sports fans, so I thought we'd incorporate it a little bit. This
3 out of the 4 of us work in industries where we work in sport.
Yep.
Johnny doesn't.
I said 3 of the 4 of us, bro.
Oh, my bad.
You just called Johnny out. So I guess I kind of hinted on this. Farid, how are you doing? Are you need us to pray for you? What do you need, man? In this time
listen,
of grief?
it's stressful. It's stressful. I couldn't sit on this flight home in peace because we're down 3-1 once again to Atlanta, and it's our last home game, and we destroyed today. We won 11-2. And here's the thing, man. I'll put it simply for you guys, since you guys don't really know baseball. We're the best team in baseball, and we've been playing terribly, and we've managed to go this far. And tonight we finally played well, and we played like the way that we usually do, and we destroyed them. So all we have to do is play like that for 2 more games, and we'll be good. We were down 3-1 last year. We came back, and if we lose, it's okay. I won't be upset because we've had a lot of injuries. But yeah, baseball, I mean, that's what it is, man. And on the other side, in the East Coast, we have the cheating Astros and the cheating Boston Red Sox.
The East, bro. The Astros playing in the East.
Well, they play in the Eastern Division. They're from Houston. Would you say Houston is on the East Coast or the West Coast?
Bro,
between those two, which would you pick?
If you've ever lived in Texas, you know it's the third coast, boy. I hope we get a couple
Johnny,
followers because of that only.
But Johnny, if you had to pick, if I said, Johnny, is Houston on the East Coast or is it on the West Coast? Which one would you say?
That's not an option.
No. You don't get to. Which one would you pick?
West Coast, because the NBA says it's on the West Coast.
Fred, tell us how you feel about Russell Westbrook.
Oh man, dude.
Wait! Before we get into that, because I want to hear this, because that's part of my next question is, who's your favorite team in the NBA? Like this year, like what team are like what's your team? Second is, what team do you predict is going to win the championship, and why is it not your team, or why is it your team? So, Farid, you can start since Johnny kind of alluded to that a little bit.
Okay, so for everybody who's listening or will be listening, I was born in Los Angeles, California. So that makes me a Lakers fan, a Dodgers fan, a Rams fan. I'm not a LA
Clippers
Kings fan.
Right?
Clippers fan, not ever. Never in a billion years. So yeah, I'm a Lakers fan. So the Lakers are my favorite basketball team. I don't know what to say next because I am not really looking forward to Russell Westbrook this year. I hope he makes me eat my words. We should have traded for Buddy Hield. It is what it is. The Lakers, I hope, win the championship. It'll probably be Milwaukee.
Can't even say that and enjoy it.
I can't because I'm kidding myself. I'm lying through my teeth. I'm not supposed to lie. It's one of the 10 commandments. Don't lie. And I just did.
Oh my, get out of here.
Johnny?
I've never seen somebody overreact more to one basketball game. I've seen, overreactions after one football game. This is 16, well, now 17 games. Basketball, this man was, calm down.
I don't know, man. Did you log into social media yesterday? People for the Lakers were melting down.
It was bad.
People, it's going to take time. I am a Laker fan as well.
Better take that Blazer hoodie off then.
No, it's not a Blazer hoodie. It's a Portland gear.
Ask him what that font is, and then go on ahead and tell me if it's not a Blazer hoodie.
I love the Blazers. Don't get me wrong. Just 79 out of the 82 games is when I root for them. Yeah, no. It's gonna take time for this Laker team to gel, and it's definitely not a perfect fit. It's a science experiment, but that being said, I think they'll come out of the West. But it doesn't really matter who comes out of the West. I think the East is going to win, whether it's Milwaukee or Brooklyn. But I think Brooklyn will come out and they'll win it all.
Brooklyn's not keeping Kyrie, that's for sure. So you still think a Kyrie-less Brooklyn would win?
They're going to get something for him.
Okay.
Yes, those two.
It
guys
won't be as good as what. Yeah. I mean, that's a whole.
Kyrie is as much of a headache as he is. He's a fantastic player.
Oh yeah, that's what Luke and I were talking about that the other day.
Dude, I saw something today. Kyrie for Ben Simmons. If the Brooklyn getting Ben Simmons, another guy to guard Giannis, that makes them tough in that going into the finals.
That trade makes a lot of sense.
It does.
It's just whether
both those clubs are trading a headache for a headache.
True, but you're just getting a headache. But one plays better defense and one scores more, and both need both. So
true.
So, Kev, what's your prediction for winning it, and who's your favorite team?
I'm curious about this. I've never heard your like basketball thing. So go ahead.
He's a huge LeBron fan.
I used to be. I already said this on my Instagram yesterday, but I no longer identify as a LeBron James fan, so don't start with me. But the Blazers are my team. I'm not drunk, so I know they're not going to win a championship this year. I wish they would, but they're not. Just a couple pieces away. Unless they make a big trade this year with, I hate to say it, because I like him, but if they really want to make a move to put Dame in a spot to win a championship, they just probably got to get rid of CJ and a couple other people in some sort of trade package. They need a bigger player who can play better defense. And for some reason, they keep getting these guys who aren't good three-point shooters and then keep shooting all these threes, which the only reason the Blazers are so good at threes is because it's Dame and CJ. But they keep, again, like, there's always players in there like like Alfred Camino and like some random guys that just aren't great shooters that like have to shoot a lot of threes, and it's like, oh my god, just there has to be a couple changes for them to actually win something. But I'm going with like my too early prediction after just power rankings in one game. I'm going for the Heat. I'm going to go with a little bit of an underdog. I think the Heat and the Celtics have a chance to upset some of these big dogs.
I don't hate the Heat.
I like Kyle Lowry with them for sure. He's much better for them than Goran Dragic. He brings a lot more to a team that was already really good with, again, Goran Dragic being good in that role.
It will be good.
But I think the Heat and the Celtics have a chance. The Bucks and the Nets in the East, because they got a lot of dogs. They like to be the underdogs. They like to have that shoulder. The reason they play the way they do gives them G. I think both those clubs can cause problems for the Eastern favorites. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Miami. I like Jimmy Butler.
I like that pick.
I like Duncan Robinson. I like Kyle Lowry. I like what's their big dude, Bam Adebayo. Yeah. I like him. So.
I don't think that they're gonna win, but I don't hate the pick. But I think that Milwaukee and Brooklyn are too good for them to lose to the Heat. But I'm a big Heat fan. Like I really like that team composition. I don't really love PJ Tucker in that mix, but I think he fits the team chemistry well. But I think he's a weird fit for them, like in the game, I guess, if that makes sense. He plays a similar style, but just now they're gonna have to play him at power forward again. Like he always complains he has to play power forward, and that's like what he can play. So it's
what does he want to be, a center?
5'10".
You're only going to the taller position, bro. Yeah. You're not going down to one of the small.
Yeah, I think they're gonna be good. I think like they are at best like the 4 seed.
Yeah, I could see that.
Oh, I don't think they're gonna win the East. In regular season, I think playoffs they're gonna take some series. But
I like that pick, Kev. Yeah, I like that pick.
Playoff time, like it comes down to star power, and in no series are they gonna have the best player on the court against like the good teams.
But if you have the second, third, fourth, and fifth best player on the court, but they have the first best player on the court, I mean, you could still win games.
Well, Johnny,
if that were the case, LeBron would win every series he's in.
And to play off that too, Johnny, is like we've seen that happen multiple times where just the better like team that like work like the composition like the fit ends up making it. Like the Spurs are a great example of that.
They're the outliers.
I don't think so. I mean, even the Warriors, like before Kevin
How
Durant,
about
there
Toronto?
was a great team composition run as well. So like I think that like you like there's for sure outliers, but and I'm not saying the Heat are that outlier. I'm just saying that like it's not always, it doesn't always come down to that. And Milwaukee honestly was a pretty good example. Now there's a lot of injury last year and stuff that helped with that, but like Giannis is great, but I would never say he's better than Kevin Durant or a lot of the top players in the league.
Yeah, but I mean, Kevin Durant was playing by himself. Injuries.
I know. I'm just saying that it can come down to a lot of things.
If it is one of those things like a Raptors year or a Bucks year where just everything falls in the perfect place for them, they can definitely take advantage. They're good enough to take advantage of the circumstance.
Quick question for you guys. What team are you looking forward to watching the most? Like most exciting team that you're Warriors?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to Dallas, the Mavs.
They just got spanked, bro. They lost by like 40 tonight.
Hey man, don't dwell on one game. Don't dwell on one game, Laker fan.
It's Miami and Golden State for me.
Yeah.
Sure.
Damn, you're hitting on my Miami pick, and you're saying they're one of your top 2 teams to watch.
I'm looking
Damn,
forward to
son.
watching them, but they're not a champ. No way.
Yeah.
Dead. All right. The Bulls for me that are outside of
that's
I've
a
already
good
picked.
pick.
Like I like Alex Caruso, number 1.
Hell yeah, baby.
But like obviously Zach LaVine is explosive. He's a lightning ball on the basketball court. But if Lonzo can kind of do what he can do with the clean slate, his shot looks pretty decent. And yeah, just Caruso and Zach LaVine. There's somebody I'm missing in there. Who else they got?
DeRozan.
Yeah, man, DeMar DeRozan.
Jinx,
Yeah,
Minnesota.
like they're gonna be dangerous.
And Vucevic is like arguably their second best player. So
yeah,
yeah.
But I don't like some of these teams that are ISO king. I won't like to watch the Nets probably until it's almost playoffs because they'll start moving. Otherwise, it's going to be James Harden in the first quarter, Kevin Durant in the second quarter, James Harden in the third quarter, Kevin Durant in the fourth quarter, and that's just not exciting to me personally.
That's fair. So my prediction for championship is I think the Lakers are going to be really hard to beat this year, but I don't think they're going to win it. I think I agree with Johnny, and the Nets are going to win it because I don't think that unless the Lakers get wave a couple guys like DeAndre Jordan and maybe someone else and pick up some more outside perimeter shooting.
We will.
And figure out their rotations. They're gonna need some help. But I'm really excited to see what they do with Kyrie and move him and see what they get as a fit because I actually think they could find a better fit. They'd win if Kyrie was playing. I'm not saying that, but I think that we could find something that works better with James Harden and Kevin Durant, which will be fun. But my team is the Blazers, and then my second team is the Warriors, and that's why I'm super pumped to see Steph and Clay come back together later this year, and then also with the young guys they got, and then Jordan Poole playing the way he is, I think the Warriors have a shot to make some noise in the playoffs as well, which will be fun.
Dude, you didn't even mention Andrew Wiggins.
Yeah, I'm hoping we trade him, but no. I like Andrew Wiggins. I actually think he fits them pretty well, but he's gonna. I think it's going to be kind of a weird situation when Klay Thompson comes back because Jordan Poole and Andrew Wiggins, I think, are going to be competing a lot for shots and movement. So
Wiggins, he's pretty athletic.
I think he's actually perfect for him. I'd expect him to stay.
Yeah,
I
could be.
agree.
Jordan Poole coming off the bench.
Yeah, that makes sense. A lot of scoring off the bench that way, and a guy who's not afraid to score. It'll be interesting, I guess, is what I'm saying, of when Clay comes back to see how it all fits together. Because Andrew Wiggins doesn't really demand the ball.
They had a sneaky good offseason.
Yeah, they did, for sure. That Otto Porter Jr. pickup is huge.
He's big.
Yeah. Cool. Let's move off sports. That was fun. Always when we talk sports, we have to get into a little bit. So we'll have to do some more of that and get into it a little bit more. All right, final segment. We got our versus battle. Fred, you want to take it away?
Yeah. So this week we've got Batman, which is Luke and Kev, and versus Superman. Iron Man, which
I don't
is
even know what team to play for.
which is Iron Man, which is myself and Johnny. So I think we were able to. I think we picked first, right, Johnny?
Bro, that was like
I
3
know that
weeks
was a
ago.
while ago. But you guys can go ahead and go first.
No, you guys are supposed to go first. That's how the debate works. Ready? Flip the coin for this, bruh.
Did we really? I don't remember.
Flip the coin, Fred.
I gotta pull it out, bro. Make sure it's not North Dakota. Okay, we're good.
This is great for the pod.
Okay. Heads is Iron Man, and booties is Batman.
Batman's an ass man.
It was booties.
Yeah, it sure was.
No, it was.
All right, Kev. You want to start or you want me to?
You start her off.
Okay. So, I guess I have a couple questions, Fred. Can you set the stage a little bit on like how this? We talked a little about this last time.
We need to. Yeah, I know what you're gonna say. We need to. When we do so for this next one, we need to come to an understanding of whether it's with preparation or without preparation. And we kind of need to do that because we didn't.
That
we didn't
and
do
then
that for this one.
destruction as well. Like one thing with versus battles is like we saw like with Hulk and Captain Marvel, they're both so explosive that like they're gonna explode. Like if they're going at full power, the Earth is gonna blow up at some point, and it's gonna be like over at that point.
And then Hulk's just be in space, dying.
Yeah. And
Captain Marvel can survive in space.
My question is, what team are you on today, Kev? So are we doing this where like one I've read is like a versus battle where they're in a city, they can use things in the city, but like they they can't like explode the Earth to win. You know what I mean? Like now this is probably not going to happen with these two like in this battle, but just in general, like setting the stage.
Yeah, let's just go with that. Let's just go that they're in a city and they are fighting each other. I don't know if we should do. I mean, I think for this particular matchup, it really is pretty balanced if there is preparation. So I think we can kind of throw that. Fortunately, we can kind of throw that out because both guys would be pretty formidable opponents with preparation. So that's a bonus for that. So we can just say that let's just go with they kind of are in the city and they stumble upon each other and they are like, oh my God, I had to defeat him. And then they just start fighting. We'll just go by that way.
Okay.
You guys are going first.
Well, all right. So I guess I have some more questions, but we'll just go away from questions and we'll just go this way. So the thing about it's fine. The thing about Batman is Batman is like known for being prepared for anything. So like he's always got a plan around things. In the Justice League, you see like how he's prepared for Superman. You see how he's prepared for a Wonder Woman attack. In the animated series, he has like protocols for every single person in the Justice League if they go off the rails to be able to fight them. So even without preparation time, Batman is already prepared for all of these things because like he's prepared in some way. So I guess that's where my question is like, yeah, we can use that in some way because that's who he is.
His knowledge is obviously transferable, right? Like the fighters' knowledges are.
Yeah.
But they just don't. Yeah. Go ahead.
So biggest thing for us, I think, with is that they're very very even in a lot of ways. But the thing that Batman has over Tony very strongly is just his knowledge of combat and his knowledge of being able to to win at all costs in a battle scenario. So, he's trained in martial arts. He's one of the top martial artists in the world, and we see that in Batman Begins, in his training in that. We see him be able to fight not only just in hand-to-hand combat, but in his suit of armor that we would probably see with a matchup against Iron Man, with him fighting in Superman and Batman vs Superman. So his ability to fight in any scenario is just much stronger and more well-rounded than Tony's, where Tony is more going to always fight in one area and needs a certain, scenario for them to be battling against each other, where it's they can't get up close and things like that. Kind of confusing, but Kev, I'll let you go into it a little bit more as well.
Well, I mean, that's opening points a bit. Do one of you guys want to respond, and then we can keep it going?
Johnny, do you want to, or?
Oh, you can. I can get us started real quick just to come back to that, and then you can kind of hit our main points. But just to combat that, I mean, when you're talking about like their knowledge, it's they're actually pretty even. It's not like Iron Man is gonna, or Tony Stark, I guess at this point, is not gonna be outwitted necessarily. I do understand that Batman's like biggest strength does come from preparation, but it's not like Iron Man is going to be lacking in the knowledge and the technology aspect. And Batman's going to be, his biggest strength is going to be hand-to-hand combat, whereas Iron Man could take a step back from that and does have the advantage. I mean, everybody says, you're not going to bring a knife to a gunfight, whereas that's the exact scenario where Iron Man could just make it more distance between the two, and has a great advantage from that perspective.
Yeah, I guess I'll hit on some of our points too. Not that it matters, but Tony Stark's IQ is 270 and Bruce Wayne's is 192, but nothing that matters. But yeah, Luke, you make a fair point about Batman's armor and not really, how he has the armor to fight against Superman. But Tony Stark has hundreds of thousands of armors for any kind of situation. And we saw in the MCU already how he can pretty much call on any of the armors at any time, and they can get there in a very, very fast amount of time. So I think that's another kind of like, point counterpoint to where, Batman may try doing one thing and it'll be effective for a moment, and then Tony Stark has an armor on standby already that he can either put on or actually have fight alongside him through Jarvis or Friday or whatever, or Siri even. So yeah.
I mean, so I'm gonna just bring it back to the beginning a little bit. Without previous prep, some of this is pretty interesting if he can just run into Batman and recall all of his suits, but Batman has limited
Batman's
like information and time to get there. Yeah. But anyway, because he also I know when we're talking about cinematic stuff, and he doesn't have as many suits in the movies or the shows like he does
which is not
comics,
fair.
Because he's got a similar situation. They're not automated like with Friday or Jarvis, like you said, but he also has who knows how many suits. Him and Tony are equally obsessed with building more suits because they fail and then they learn how to fix that, and then they go back and do it again. But just to touch on Johnny's thing with the distance stuff, because I mean, we have seen the Batwing in movies, and then also he would have the Batmobile, and so it wouldn't be just really easy for Tony to make it a distance fight, because now there are going to be some very high-tech gadgets that Batman's bringing into the fight. If we're talking about that and flying and stuff, he's gonna have the Batwing with a lot of stuff, and he's gonna have again the Batmobile option also. To combat with that, along with the suit that we've seen him where he's capable of fighting Superman. So it's just a lot of the proton stuff that potentially Tony could be shooting at him also. He's got tech that can help deflect that technology. It's not he's wearing a cloth suit, So I think there's some defenses against. He's not winning if it turns into a distance battle. That's not a strength of his, but I think he can defend against it enough to where he wouldn't just get. He wouldn't lose the battle just because it became distance. He could do like he does and stalemate it almost with chess and just stay away until he forces some sort of different change in the fight where he can try to use some more of his advantages.
And to go a little bit against what Farid said there, and what Johnny said as well, is, and what Kevin hinted to, is that yes, he doesn't have as many suits in the cinematic, but the thing about it is Batman also has similar ability to be able to call on things, and that is like the Batwing and the Batmobile, which are also basically like military grade tanks, and that can do much more than military grade tanks. So like he might not be fighting like all, like have the other suits are helping him as well, but he would have the ability to not only keep distance, fight against those things, but also he doesn't have to be in them to control them. So like they're all automated, and are able to do with AI technology as well. I also the thing about that we see in The Dark Knight is that he developed that technology to be able to see everywhere. So like and be able to see what's going on. It's basically like we got to see Batman's like ultimate detective system of like being able to tap into any technology and to be able to see where things are. And camera. So I think that that's another strength to Batman that we got to see, is that he probably wouldn't be able to tap into Tony's tech. I'm not saying that, because Tony's tech is much higher, but he wouldn't have any element of surprise. Nothing would be getting after him, where Batman, that's one of the big things about him, is his element of surprise. So where Iron Man may feel like he has him cornered, he most likely doesn't. And Batman has already seen what's happening and coming because of that tech, but also just his ability to be in the shadows.
Yeah, and I mean, really quick, Johnny, you guys both hinted at the tech. I know Batman is obviously incredibly smart and has some serious high tech stuff, and like you even mentioned some military grade, if not beyond that. I would probably even say beyond military grade. But if we're talking about a head to head with just tech, Tony Stark has the advantage, hands down. So yeah, go ahead, Johnny.
That wasn't my point though. My point was that his tech isn't like just gonna lay over and right. Tony can just come over and just beat the crap out of him with tech. He has the defensive ability with his tech and the ability to close distances with the Batwing, to circle Tony in closer, and then use his strengths of element of surprise and hand-to-hand combat to fight Tony.
Something that you kind of no, you're good. Something you kind of hinted to, Luke, was the technology that Batman has. But one like area where I think Iron Man would have a distinct advantage is he can have his suits fight alongside of him. So whereas, the few things that Batman would have alongside of him, I feel like just the pure amount of numbers alone would, even if, Batman's, like Batmobile's going to be stronger than, a few Iron Man suits, like we saw in Iron Man 3, where it's like, 100 different suits coming at him. I feel like just the sheer power of number would overpower the strength.
Mm-hmm.
Of Batman's, like of the Batwing and the Batmobile. Yeah.
True. And like, I think that's also like, we could probably agree that that's circumstance of movie too. Like because, like Kevin alluded to, like if we're like looking at things, Batman had similar like like artillery and like
power
armories
armor
and stuff. So like it's one of those things that like in this scenario, like that makes sense. But I also don't think that that's how Batman would necessarily approach it, because like this is a scenario that yes, maybe they would meet in the street, but like Batman's probably not going to just fight him in the middle of the street. He's going to find a way to like pull him somewhere like that he knows. Like he's not going to just go in the middle of the freeway and try and like go hand to hand with Iron Man. He's going to go and pull him into the darkness is basically the point. So it won't be where Iron Man could just shoot 100 suits at him. Like he would have to actually come in and fight him a little bit. So
another thing that, sorry, Luke, did you have more?
Go ahead.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Another thing that we had kind of put down as a point that I wanted to mention, but it's kind of like with a big asterisk on it, was Edith. Just like the potential of having hundreds of lethal drones who can kind of like, I mean, it could be for surveillance or for whatever reason. And the reason why I put an asterisk although it is an advantage, the reason why I put an asterisk is because Bruce Wayne most definitely has similar tech, so that kind of just like balances out. And they didn't really display that in any of like the Batman movies that we've seen with Christopher Nolan's and some of the older ones. But that's another advantage, and it's another thing that, I mean, they both have that. Like, I know that they didn't show it in the Dark Knight trilogy, but like it's there. He has it. One thing I have is Bruce Wayne's net worth is 9.2 billion and Tony Stark's is 12 billion.
Yeah, but I mean, like when you're at that type of money, it really doesn't matter anymore because like they're gonna be like they're not gonna spend it fast enough to make it worth it. You know what I mean? In a fight like that, like it's more just the tech. Another thing too is, and Kevin said it earlier, is that Batman fought Superman and won in Batman vs Superman, and I think it's pretty safe to say that Superman's the most, if it was Marvel and DC on Earth, like on Earth heroes, that Superman would be the most powerful hero out of both sides. So I think that that's also a testament of like Batman's prep and preparation of being if he's able to fight the most powerful hero on the Earth, then he would be able to be prepared to fight Iron Man in the same fashion.
Yeah, no, I think this is a really intriguing versus match for this week because both characters, both heroes, are like the two most prepared out of anyone.
Yeah.
In both their respective kind of teams, you know, Batman in the Justice League and Iron Man with the Avengers. So they both would have something to show. Like, they wouldn't show up to a fight, or even if it was like an encounter in the street, both of them wouldn't just walk up and not know what to do. They would both have game plans. They would both have, like Batman would be like, okay, I probably should not fight this guy hand-to-hand combat without some kind of power armor because I'm going to punch him and break my wrist, or, whatever kind of thing. So ultimately, I think it's fairly even, but the way that we have set up the fight, I think Iron Man has a slight advantage just because of the overwhelming amount of tech and just numbers that Iron Man can kind of summon in like at any moment with all his hundreds of thousands of suits. And I do want to mention this, not that it's relevant, but the last three guys who played Batman, their combined net worth is $100 million less, or no, $30 million less than Robert Downey Jr.
Well, but okay.
Okay. Put that at the end of our notes. I got a good laugh.
Yeah. Because first of all, that was another point, is that we got to see. We've seen a lot of Batman movies, so this is the disadvantage that Batman has in this, is that we've seen a lot of Batman movies, but we haven't seen one long Batman story. So we've seen like segments of his life, where Iron Man, we got to see from when he built it in a cave all the way to nanotech technology. So like, we're not getting to see Batman's full potential, and it would be similar, if not the same. And then you also add the abilities of hand-to-hand combat, and again, like, Tony is one of the smartest. You already said, like, his 270 IQ, but the thing, that's overall IQ. It's not military and like combat IQ, where Batman's, I'd be interested to see like what the difference between those, because Batman, that's what he trains in, that's what he excels at, is how to win in a battle.
He's literally a ninja.
Yeah,
literally was trained in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and is a ninja.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I mean, as big of a Batman fan as I am, just the honesty of me, I think our arguments tonight are pretty even. But like, yeah, if we are allowed to use comic books, this conversation is a little bit easier. Yeah. Because both of them, like, they're the only regular humans that compete with all these people, like we've already talked about before, in a lighter note when we were talking about Iron Man last week. But like, they're ridiculous. They have answers for everything. Like, if you look at the comics, like, they're literally metaphorically like equal. Just like, one is DC and one is Marvel. Like, they have the same type of suits. Like, if you look at Tony's nanotech stuff, and there's one that's like a hologram eventually that you can appear on him at any time. And then Batman has like the Hellbat suit, which like eats his soul, but is crazy powerful, and he could fight a celestial being with it. And then like from the top all the way to the bottom, it's like those guys are ridiculous.
Didn't he defeat what's that dude? Omega Beam? What's that dude?
You're not talking about Apocalypse. Who are you talking about?
No, I'm talking. What's his name? I'm drawing a blank.
Okay, so with this though, like
Darkseid.
He defeated Darkseid with the Hellbat suit.
Yeah.
And on the same side of that coin, Tony has defeated a Celestial with one of his suits. So they're like so balanced.
Yeah, like this is one of those things that like it really comes down to like scenario, timing, where they meet, how they meet. Like if they're in Gotham, Batman I think has a clear like it's all those types of things that like are big, like what's happening and what the scenario is, because clearly if Iron Man walked up and they just met in the street, Iron Man would kill him because Batman is standing there just in his normal suit. But if they both had like years of preparation, months of preparation, this would be a much different like scenario. Iron Man has an advantage in his movies in like the fact of like the long growth of everything, but we've seen glimpses of Batman's greatness in the movies, and really in the Batman movies recently we haven't seen like Batman's been strong, but really what carries those movies is like it's not like his abilities and his suits like we see in Iron Man. It's more of like the storyline, and he's still fighting like the characters like the Joker, and things where if he was using those suits, it wouldn't be a fight. It would be over. And we only really got that glimpse with Batman vs Superman, and then as well as in the Justice League. And that movie is, we all know, we don't really all want to watch. So it's one of those things that's like it all comes down to circumstance, I think. And that's what's exciting about this is we get to see like there's so many different scenarios, and that's the fun of it, I guess.
Yeah, no, the good, like I guess it can be good and bad depending on what how you feel about it. But the great thing I think about this fight is that they are so balanced in so many ways that, like again, like I said at the beginning, you know, they're both going to be prepared, so those cross out. They're both probably going to have like some kind of like satellite laser beam, so those cross out. So
yeah,
no, I think it's a super cool and super intriguing fight.
Yeah. I did watch, I'll share this with you guys, I did watch like this YouTube video that was like 20 minutes long. These guys are pretty funny, and it was a Batman versus Iron Man situation. And they made it like a 90s video game almost, and simulated it at the end.
Funny.
And it was like, it ended up coming down to them wearing like their most heavy suits like in the beginning, and they pretty much just destroy each other all the way down until they're like in their regular suits fighting hand to hand. And then Tony's nanotech stuff ends up being him, like Luke said, like Batman ends up in his regular suit, it's over.
Yeah.
But if he can be in some of the other high tech, then he can compete a bit. But it ended up being like, again, they were essentially stripped of their suits, but Tony had his holographic stuff of some of his development ended up winning at the end by shooting a satellite laser at both of them. But he survived because he had his holographic suit. Yeah, and so it was like it was funny, but yeah, it was really intriguing because like it was pretty cool how they made a fight scene.
Another thing too to point out, if these two met in the middle of the street, Tony most likely is not wearing his suit, just walking down the street. Like, and so if that's the case, he's gonna die before he can even get the nanotech to cover his body. Or Batman is not Whiplash, and he's not gonna just stand there while Tony stands like this and has all the armor climb up his body.
No. In Endgame, it came up very quickly. It was like,
you ever seen Batman move, bro? That guy is quick.
and I'm gonna disagree with you. If they saw each other on the street, Batman would kill Tony Stark, because here's what would happen: they'd become great friends. That's what would happen.
Actually, I think they would not be friends.
No, they're the
same person, right?
Yeah. Well, no, they would. They probably would. No, they probably would, dude. Both their parents died. He'd be like, "Oh, dude, my parents died too. You have $1 billion? Well, I have 12 billion, but that's who's counting?"
I mean, dude, you just bringing up the parents dying. You already Batman, Superman, Martha, and they become best friends.
Yeah.
That's like the worst.
That was so God, dude.
Dude, our moms have the same name.
I didn't even watch Batman versus Superman for a long time because I was like, this is just gonna be bad, and I love that.
Is the movie was actually good until that point, and then that point was like, seriously, like that's how we're gonna do this? Like,
now Lois Lane has superpowers. She's got super hearing.
Yeah.
And super knowledge.
Lois Lane.
That's just normal.
Louis Lane.
Louis Lane. Hey, bro, don't hate.
Cool. Like that's a fun one. I think that we can all agree it really comes down to circumstance. It's a little bit less heated than our Hulk versus Captain Marvel one because I think that like this one.
Well, there was an obvious winner in that one.
Yeah, Hulk. Yeah. When actually this is something you guys didn't bring up is the most powerful hero probably in all of Earth as well. Hulk and Superman. And Captain Marvel's a close fifth.
Physically strongest or
just strongest, like in comics.
Yeah.
So like when you like Captain Marvel for sure is strong, but in the comics. Superman and Hulk are almost unbeatable. So those two are, and Iron Man basically with the Hulkbuster suit was able to contain Hulk, and Batman defeated Superman. So super even matchup, and we got to see some of that in the cinematic world. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Hopefully we see more as we go forward. Maybe not of Iron Man, but maybe Peter Parker in an Iron Man role. We'll see.
Dead.
Peter
Parker. Iron Spider. So one quick question before we log off, since we're past our Raymond listening.
You're cutting in and out, Kev. I think your mic needs to get a little closer.
Oh, I said if people are still here, they're real ones. So I figure they would care if we go another minute over here. Have you guys seen any of the trailers for Arkham Knights?
I have.
Yeah, I can't wait. It was supposed to come out like last year.
Yeah, so with like 25 other things.
Yeah.
That looks pretty good. Luke, you'll get your Nightwing, and you get some Robin and a couple other people on there. It looks pretty good.
I'm pumped. Super pumped. Cool. So let's do the outro here. So just a reminder to go follow us on all our socials. We're gonna be more active in that in the next coming weeks. All of us have been incredibly busy at work and balancing this and work, so we apologize for our inactivity there, but we'll be back up to it this coming week. You can follow Johnny where he is always active at Johnny's Funkos. You can follow Kevin at K_West3. You can follow Farid at Farid_Riot, and you can follow me at LJM Fandom. Reminder, we'll be live next week on Thursday. Same place, same time, and we'll be kind of prepping for Eternals. Some of our expectations is we're going to be missing the next week because of the movie. We'll be talking about Eternals. We got a fun rankings list / bracket thing that we're going to be doing next week, and then as well as just some more conversation of what we're watching and how Johnny's liking Avatar Book 2. So we'll be going into it, and we'll be seeing you guys next week.
Yep. See you guys.
Bye, everybody.